I'm Patrick.
I'm Will.
And I'm Chris, and we are Guys with Issues.
Yes, here we are.
Here we are for issue 10, part 2 of Knightquest. Part 2? Are we on part 2 now?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, this is part 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Should be.
Yeah.
It is.
Waybound came out.
Bro, I almost said that.
We're not talking about it yet.
Stop it.
I'm just saying it came out. I read it. I enjoyed it. That's it.
I was
That's all I'm
going to
saying.
ask how your week was, and I knew you were going to say, I listened to the new book by Will White, since this is a 30% Will White podcast.
Pretty much. I think we bring it up almost every episode.
It's probably been in, by now it's at least a third of the episodes.
Excellent.
Yeah.
We need to keep that.
So it was a worthwhile end to the series.
I thought so.
How was the actual ending? Was it, do you think, is it one of those things where the book as a whole was really good? Did the ending feel like, were you disappointed at all with the actual literal ending, or did you feel like the whole thing was tied up pretty well, or however it ended up?
I enjoyed. Have you, Will? Have you seen or finished it?
I have not.
You've not. Okay.
Have you started it?
No. I have had quite a stressful week, and I just never got around to it.
All right, that's fair.
I'm saving it for my drive to North Carolina
Which is next weekend.
this coming week. I leave either Wednesday night
Oh,
or
wow, it's-
Thursday morning.
Actually, the 11th.
It is actually
To
the
date
11th.
this.
Yeah.
I guess you just bleeped that part out.
No, we date a lot of them, because what we'll say is technically this coming weekend is when the Flash movie comes out, and we don't get to go
yeah.
see it because I'm out of town.
Yeah, Will
We're
and I
gonna
get
have
to go see it.
Yep. No, that's
Yeah.
fine. You guys
Yeah.
go see it, and I'll see it like the day I get back. The pre-reviews are out, and people that I trust opinions of quite a lot have said it is very much worth watching.
Good.
One thing some people have said, I heard somebody say the CG is really bad at times, and I'm like, that's fine. You know, that's a staple of current superhero movies. Potentially bad CG right now, but I heard somebody else say they thought some of the CG was really well done for certain shots and things like that. So one guy said he's never liked Ezra Miller as the Flash, and he enjoyed him in this movie. They did some character stuff that they thought really worked well and brought him into a more developed character arc kind of thing.
He's only been in one movie.
Yeah, but most people hated him in that. I know a lot of people that just do not like him, his persona as Barry Allen, because he's not really a Barry Allen. But what they said was, it's very good in this. They kind of tighten him up because he's more of like a supporting role character, his persona, and a lot of people are saying that they move him into a starring role much better than they expected. There's also some things that I guess are pretty big Easter eggs, the director announced at least one of them, but I haven't been following anything. So be careful going across the internets.
I always am.
But
Me too.
The internet is a dangerous place.
it is. It's dangerous to go alone. That's why I use a VPN.
Express.
I don't know. Who do you think our VPN ad
That's
sponsor
funny.
would be?
That's too. I've had a few different ones.
You've had ad sponsors or VPNs?
VPNs.
Okay. I was like, wow, what were you doing?
Have I ever had a sponsor for anything?
I've had
just
a few VPNs as well.
Just my addictions group.
That's
the
fair.
only thing I've had a sponsor in. But no, the Flash movie is supposed to be pretty good from what it sounds like. Sounds like Waybound, the final book in Will White's Cradle series,
Oh, I was talking about that.
is very good. That's why I brought it up.
Yeah, thanks.
You said it's
Because I
excellent.
completely forgot. No. So the ending I enjoyed.
The actual ending.
The actual ending.
Okay.
It was very nice.
I was curious. Oh, he's trying to be real careful right now.
You better.
I wish it would have tied some things up better.
That's the one critique I would have about his entire book series, is that sometimes he gets a lot going on, but because he tries to be very concise and not balloon things out to make it certain length, there are arcs that get started that I feel like do not get tied up well, or sometimes it's very quickly. As a whole, like his main stuff does.
He did that, right? He's like, oh, I want to have a fast pace, not a lot of ballooning. I don't want an entire chapter about a teapot.
I don't
But
see
he
why
also
not.
he also tried to make it on like a galactic or like
Teapots
all
are
of
amazing.
Intergalactic, interdimensional,
all of creation level. Like it's
Intergalactic,
if you kept
planetary.
planetary,
I think the
intergalactic.
story. I think the story was best when it was just like small and just about the group, you know. But then it got wider into the world.
But
you
the
don't
very
really,
first book,
you don't really,
you get the beginning of that.
you do, but
I
like
mean,
you don't really care about all these other places because he does a good job, kind of like talking. He gives you like little snippets, but like I don't care about most of the other. It's like the core group that was in there from the beginning is what you're really connected to. You're not connected to all of
The Jai
creation.
clan
Yeah.
and the Abaddon and North Strider.
It tries to get too big too fast. You know what I'm saying?
See, I didn't feel that. I didn't feel that way at all. I don't think it. I liked the way each book would expand. If anything, I just wanted them to be longer books to see more of the other things.
Yeah.
But maybe that's because Pat had me read things like The Wheel of Time, and even though I haven't finished it, and he got me into Mistborn, and I read The Way of Kings, the book, not the series. And because I've read those and know how long and drawn out a book can be, I can read these incredibly tightly crafted books and think, I could have gone for another 100 pages.
Yeah, I could go for another.
I think that's
Yep.
what it is when you're used to being like, and Rand set off on this quest for a couple of chapters, and then we go and see a group of ladies doing their quest for a couple of chapters, and you think, I could have spent a few more chapters at that war front.
So what?
Yeah.
Okay, so Wheel of Time, what you're talking about. And it's a little bit of a spoiler if nobody had read it. But like
Unless
the
you
first-
watch the Amazon series, because it is like
No, this is
page
still-
for page accurate.
Not at all. Do not say that. Oh gosh. We don't
I've
want to start
never
that rumor. Oh, it's so bad. Anyway, no, the first, I believe, 5 chapters in the book, and they're chonky chapters.
Are you talking about the first book?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nothing happens. It's all just kind of leading up to it.
Yeah, it's like
It's
Well,
somebody
the
on a
first
farm and talking
chapter-
about people in a
the
town.
prologue is like, and the world
Well, yeah.
was ended, basically.
I wasn't talking about that one, but
and
yeah,
then it's like chapter 1, we're walking to town.
we're walking
Chapter
to town.
2,
Yeah,
we're talking to people about some rumors in town. Chapter 3,
we're
a
going back
mysterious
home.
person shows up in town. Chapter 4, we're going back home.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
Chapter 5, home has a problem. Chapter 6,
Oh my
we're
gosh.
back in town.
yeah, and then
Chapter
Sounds like Demon Slayer,
it's
just elongated.
I really enjoyed the series.
It's kind of a standard I see, when you go into fantasy, I was going to say it's kind of a standard fantasy trope, expectation, whatever. There are things, it's like I've told you, nobody would argue that Brandon Sanderson is an incredible world builder. Nobody would argue against that. He's phenomenal.
He is.
And he writes these huge books that are like 40 plus hour audiobooks and 900 pages and stuff. But the problem is when I'm reading them, usually a third of it, I'm like, I don't care about this. Go back to this other thing or do it.
Sure.
And I know you're building a picture and you're setting things up and you have plans. But sometimes those stories, like what you're saying about Cradle for you, Will, is sometimes those stories get so big and end up following many people, and you really only care, at least in his book, The Way of Kings, the first one, you may really only care about 1 or 2 of these half dozen people, and so the time spent with the others is just more. It feels more like you're trudging through the mud sometimes.
Sure.
But because Cradle to me is so tight, with its driving, I don't know, it's tightly driven.
Stories in Cradle are tight. Sorry, it's the first thing that popped into my head when you said that. But also about
How are we going to defeat this dread god? Oh, it'll be super easy, barely an inconvenience.
Boy,
right,
I don't
no.
want to say anything.
Stop.
oh boy, there's
Yeah, I don't want to spoil any of that book series on this because I want people to be like, I listened for comic books, but I ended up reading that
Yeah.
Cradle series and I
So
loved
good.
it. Everybody we know likes it. Everybody that tries it.
My brother enjoyed it as well, but his
Yeah.
only complaint was they were way too short because he was listening to them while driving all the way or all around, Indiana, Ohio.
oh interesting. Just lost
Illinois.
or
No, he works for an irrigation company,
oh okay.
so he puts up those Hujongo
Did
irrigation,
Yeah.
field irrigation
I just
systems.
didn't know if he kept forgetting his way home or
So he listens to a lot of audiobooks.
No,
I bet.
he works with an irritation company.
Yeah.
man, so irritating.
Sometimes it is.
I mean, I did that when I did carpentry.
You
Man,
irritated people.
Yeah, immensely.
If anybody is listening who had Will do carpentry
doubt.
at their house, just know that you got to experience our lives for just your short period of time.
They were all so old that I doubt. I mean, I did a
Wow.
few for some younger.
Are you saying
people.
that older people tend to not listen to podcasts or they don't read comic books?
Both.
no, okay, he's going with both.
When is that going to be us?
Never, because we are the
Soon.
new old generation.
Oh, that's the old generation.
Yeah.
I mean, that's true. Things change.
At least I'm the new old generation. He's still working on it. Will's still working on it.
He's
I'm
not.
getting
He's
there.
still a
Day by
young
day.
child.
I know, that's why I said that.
But I think Cradle left room for other stories, though, because
Oh, 100%.
he could make a whole other series.
Yeah,
'cause
it's
there's the-
called The Captain.
And it's
Yeah.
amazing.
I
It
finished it. Did you finish it?
I'm close.
Wow, you
I have not
started it like 2 weeks before me.
I know. I haven't been listening to a lot of audiobooks. Things have been kind of nuts.
Go mow your grass and listen to audio.
But it's not been raining. We've been having
that's
a
fair.
little bit of a drought, so
Yeah,
it's literally
I
not
haven't.
growing.
It
I
rained,
haven't
it rained
mowed.
today.
It's sprinkled
That's fair.
today. Water did fall from
Sprinkled,
the sky,
spritzed, drizzled.
but we have not been
misted.
getting enough rain for my grass to really be growing. So
My
Yeah,
grass
I know.
is brown right now,
Yeah.
so,
So just-
I know it's not growing.
So do you live alone?
yes,
Oh, well, then you can't tell the person you live with, hey, I'm going to go mow the grass and then go hide in your room and
yeah,
listen to the book for an hour.
What's it like to live alone?
It's amazing.
it is. Just do whatever you want.
And then you have people over and you record a podcast.
Oh yeah,
So it's amazing living with my family too.
oh no, we're not begrudging people who live with families and stuff. It's
You're
just-
not. I mean,
Just because I can't have the time to do things that I think sound fun sometimes, I get to have different kinds of fun.
you do.
And it makes you appreciate things differently. That people with, like, to be honest, like if I showed you pictures where I was like, look at Theo, he just got on my chair when I was eating dinner and it was funny, he made a funny face. Like you might be like, oh, that's fun. But like, you're like, whatever. But now if I showed somebody like at work, like a mom or something, and I'm like, oh, it's the way you appreciate the things different. You just, when you live it, it's different. You know what I mean? It's true. But I've actually I've learned to just appreciate wherever I'm at in life. Where am I?
Where are we?
We're floating in a void.
We're in Silicon Valley, remember?
No, we're floating in the podcast
Oh,
void.
yeah.
But yeah, I think faithful listener, wherever you're at in life, it's important to find the good in those moments and not begrudge your day by day, thinking that other people have a better life than you or a better setup or a better routine. If you have things in your routine you don't like, you can change that. Go for it. Hopefully it's a healthy change.
So I started smoking
If
cigarettes.
it's not, it's probably easier.
But I will say, that is so true, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is.
It's so true. So easy to do the bad things. But But yeah, you just have to learn to appreciate things the way that they are sometimes, I think.
Yep.
I will agree with you that the captain was very good. I don't think that as a first book, it necessarily hooked me more than Cradle.
It had spaceships in it.
That's what you
It is.
said.
I think we talked about this last time. That the only reason you liked it more at the start is because it has a spaceship as a character.
Not only does it have a spaceship, it has a sarcastic spaceship.
I would say sarcastic or
Sometimes.
underlying menace. I think that's the
A
tone.
little bit of both.
I think
You
the
see,
tone. Although they do kind of explain that a little more towards the end.
I think
the personality.
Right.
Yeah, I think the problem is.
I need to listen
I mean,
to
it
that
could
again.
be foreshadowing. Maybe the ship is evil, but as humans, we interpret her actions as evil
Maybe it's three
but-
shadowing.
because it's not human and doesn't know exactly how to react. It just kind of guesses.
No,
No.
it's just she's crazy.
It is foreshadowing.
I think she does.
Probably
But
does.
You'll
but,
see.
I mean, like,
You'll see. Towards the very, very
I'm
end,
open-minded.
you get a little more about the ship.
I'm open minded.
A little more, a lot of more.
Probably a lot more.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But
lot
it's
of
like
more.
the last chapter.
Right.
But you know what wasn't the last chapter? The Nightfall series, part 27 that we read. Knightquest part 2.
Right.
At this point, it's part 4 of our Nightfall saga, right? Part 4? We did the first book
Yes.
in 2,
Yeah,
didn't we?
We did, which was
Because it
crazy.
was a lot of reading for 2 episodes.
Yes. This one was also a lot of reading, but
Yeah,
that
it
was my
was.
fault.
Only for
But-
people who believed their friends from old posts and read extra. Oh, Will.
Cracking open another one. Let's go, boys.
Yes, Pat went off of a list that I posted when we first started Knightquest because I thought it would be helpful.
It was.
But then we kind of focused primarily on using the app to read it because it does line it up appropriately, like chronologically, whatever. But the app chooses to omit 5 issues from the chronological order that the list had. Those 5 issues, while having the Knightquest banner in the top corner, were not included in the reading list that the app gives you.
I wonder why.
The same reason that it doesn't include all of the Robin stuff. I don't know.
It's interesting.
But this, what's interesting is Pat's book also has even less than what. Oh, well, yeah, I pointed at the bookshelf.
You did.
You guys, you knew what I meant.
I
Anyway,
mean, we didn't verbalize it, so it was just for us.
yeah, but I verbalize everything, so you
he
can't.
does. It's almost like he's narrating.
Everything.
I'm
So-
walking through the hallway. Like,
Like Spider-Man.
Like Ben
from-
Reilly
Yeah.
and Across the Spider-Verse. I had a friend point out that was more of Kane's persona, the angsty side, than Ben Reilly's. But anyway, he said they did my Spider-Man dirty. He was like, he did not like what they did to Ben Reilly.
oh, well.
But that's okay.
Think he can
It's
get
going to
over it.
happen. It's going to happen. Not everything about the movie is perfect. I have talked to more people who've seen it now and they all enjoyed it. But this time it's about Batman. Last time we started talking about Batman during the Spider-Man episode and had to go, but this is about Spider-Man. So anyway, the book, the graphic novel, the omnibus, Knightquest omnibus that you own, Pat, doesn't have the Robin issues. It doesn't have those Justice League issues. So the app has some, but not others. Pat's omnibus has some, but not others. And so it seems like whatever you read, it's going to be good enough, Pat.
It was
And
good.
actually, it was way more. And since you told me that you read extra, I was like, I'm going to go read extra too. And you know what I read extra of? Spider-Man, because ever since we started Spider-Man, I started reading the original 90s Spider-Man 2099. I know why Miguel is a vampire now. Oh, listeners, real quick, before Nightfall, in case you wondered, why in Across the Spider-Verse they talk about Miguel being a vampire? Well, it's because the chamber that he was put in and had his genetics spliced with that of a spider, it altered him into being 50% spider DNA. And so unlike Peter Parker, he spins organic web like the Tobey Maguire movies. It shoots out of his body, out of his arms. And he also has big fangs that can retract and a desire to occasionally bite those bad guys that he catches.
Huh.
It's the spider in him.
It was like that one horror
Yeah, like a little
chapter
bit.
that they had that
Yep.
we talked about in the previous episode.
Yes, correct. The Edge of the
Nice.
Spider-Verse issue 4. Yeah, so it was a little bit more like that, but a lot less like that. A little bit more.
He actually fought it and didn't indulge in his
Yeah, well,
desires.
but we read 12 issues. You read
12.
17.
I would 17.
You read 17 issues. Wow. That's a lot for a week.
And what, 6? Never mind.
That's 6.
Not 6. 17. I don't know what I'm thinking. Don't
You
look at
read
me like
5 extra, though.
that. I read 5 extra for the Batman stuff. Yeah.
So
But was it worth it?
I don't remember.
he doesn't even
Oh.
know. He wouldn't know because he experienced it with the extra. He doesn't
Right.
know
I don't
if it
know
was
what's,
worth it.
what was extra and what wasn't at this
Well,
point
you
in my
had
brain.
an extra Catwoman issue. You had an extra lead-in or two.
I mean, it was
I didn't-
Catwoman. Was it really extra?
She is
She
so
is
extra.
Pretty extra, yeah. I was just going to say.
Wow. We are lame jokers sometimes.
Lame jokers.
But
We're not the cool Joker.
no, but this
Joaquin
section
Phoenix?
had a cool joker. He thought he was made for Hollywood. So
I did love that.
That was
So starting
pretty
out-
great.
Will, is Synopsis Will here?
Oh, hang on, wait. He's got to dig it out of his pocket.
Oh, he's digging his secret identity out. He's put a mask on. He's spinning, just like old school Wonder Woman.
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
And his theme song is the chicken dance, which makes so much sense.
It really does.
Right?
I want to put that in, Del. Synopsis Will.
I was actually thinking the old, what was it? Either Batman or Spider-Man cartoon.
Batman went. "Doodle-loo-loo-loo-loo."
Yeah,
Was
something
that
like
the sound?
Yeah, I think that was the sound.
That was from the old Batman TV show.
Yeah. I've been
That's
watching,
where I was pulling it from. I actually didn't even think about the chicken dance.
I've been watching
You
the
went
animated series.
do, and it
Did I?
sounded like you
Yeah, you
did.
did.
Oh.
100%.
Well,
Yeah, I've been watching the TV. They don't really do anything like that in the animated series.
No, but they use that good old Danny Elfman music.
I just finished
So good.
the Two-Face, the second part of the Two-Face one.
I like that.
That one's good.
That show, it just captures all of the Bat stuff so well. I love Paul Dini. Thank you, Paul Dini, for making Batman the animated series.
I really do like how the first Batman series that we're reading doesn't have a lot of Batman in it,
Now it's all like Azrael.
right?
Yeah,
disappointed.
I know, right?
I can just see Hercules yelling it right now.
I wasn't going to scream into the microphone. It's going to make the editing a little bit easier for you.
Thanks.
Not
After
it's-
after that last episode, I need an easy episode.
We'll do what we can.
We're never easy. Today with Synopsis Will. Yes. Actually,
I love it.
I shouldn't have said that because in the synopsis I wrote today on Guys with Issues. I don't know why I did that.
Today, guys.
Yeah,
with
Do
issues.
it. Come
Anyway.
on, do it. Go all in.
Today on Guys with Issues, Jean-Paul Valley finds his mental fortitude is being tested by the endless crime he fights against each and every night in Gotham City. Finally, his hallucination of Saint Dumas, created by his subconscious, has begun to do battle with the system created by his father, all the while fighting against cowboys, Catwoman, and clowns. as well as 3 stooges. But the question everyone has right now is, when the heck is Bruce Wayne coming back?
Yeah, that's true. That is the question everybody has.
Oh, you should have seen the intensity on Will's face.
Yes.
Man, the Three
Because
Stooges.
it is
Yeah, literally.
literally. I
They
thought
were
that was.
They named
literally-
them a little different.
But they were like mnemonically similar.
They were.
Yeah.
I was
no,
like, wow.
it was
Characters.
100%. Even
Oh,
the
I
way
know.
Alternate universe, 3 stooges.
Oh, man.
yeah. Yeah, but so as you know, structure.
Structure. Hold on, I got my notes out.
That's all Chris is about.
Since we're
He's not-
structure.
he needs to embrace the chaos a little bit more.
Oh man,
That's why he doesn't drink
I'm
Other than-
drinking right now.
other than water. Do you want a beer?
No.
Make this fun.
No, it makes me interrupt too much. Drives me crazy.
Okay.
So,
Structure, Steve. Let's go.
structure Steve. No. Be
Uh,
like,
that would be your that's their superhero one for this episode.
no, because
Structural Steve, he goes around.
structural Steve. He just goes around writing citations.
I was
For
instructing
bad.
building codes,
Wow.
inspecting.
Enforcing.
Yes.
Is that what you're...
Be like, your electrical wire's out of date.
So,
You're using asbestos. No.
Asbestos, no.
Yes, it's this villain.
yes, this.
That just needs to be at the end of the episode. Just asbestos, no.
Sticking with structure Steve. Did we like it? Did we like it overall? Pat, what about you? Did you like it overall? Do you remember it?
Overall, yeah. What do you mean? Did I remember it? Yes. Overall, I liked it. I think the ending kind of helped redeem it for me a bit.
Yeah. What about you, Will?
I didn't dislike it, but
So you
it's
liked
kind
it.
of. I'm kind of middling
Ah.
to where it's kind of been boring.
I have a theory on that.
Yeah,
Not a
'cause
fan theory, but just like an observation.
ever since basically the beginning of Knightquest, not a whole lot has happened.
What? You mean
I
all
mean,
those
like-
people getting beat up for no reason?
But like,
What
as far
about
as
that
the
didn't do it
Rosemary's
for you?
Baby?
yeah, all that stuff has happened.
What, the
but
sled?
still, like,
The sled.
of the overarching story of
I was thinking Rosebud.
Nightfall,
Never mind.
Knightquest, Night's End,
Mm-hmm.
the big story. It's just kind of been
Dragon. a little.
dragging.
It has
to where
been
like
dragging.
to where like I enjoyed some of the subs, like the story with the 2 cowboys. Probably my favorite. I've noticed since Knightquest started, my favorite characters are always the villains.
And
Slash-
cowboys.
Yeah.
Because you also made a comment about the cowboy in the 2099 setting in the Spider-Man
Yes.
issue.
I like westerns. I'm not gonna apologize.
No, Hondo.
You shouldn't have to.
So you enjoyed the Trigger Twins, finally getting to see them do their thing.
Oh yeah, yep.
And so I enjoyed part 2 more than I had enjoyed part 1 overall.
Yeah, I would
Like
say.
the stories that we read
Mm-hmm.
and the interactions, I enjoyed overall a little better than part 1.
Sure.
But I have a theory on this. I have a theory about what, we just said it. Feels like it's dragging. Yeah, because it's a huge 90s epic. And the 90s, I want to say, was kind of known for drawing things out and
Super 90s.
making tons of issues. And
I mean, it's a cartoon or it's a comic book. They drew everything out.
I thought you were going to say they have lots of issues.
Oh, there's that too.
I mean, but that's that's our joke.
It
Wow.
is.
They do draw everything out, though. That's funny. But I think that you almost have to think of this less as a big story arc and more like you're just reading an ongoing comic.
Right.
Because that's really, it is supposed to be an ongoing story arc. But really, it's structured like you're just reading an ongoing series. Like, most ongoing series have ongoing story arcs, like overarching plot threads that go into long runs, and people will show up from earlier, and there will be foreshadowing and reveals, and good comic writing can last for years, like different story arcs can.
Yeah.
But this definitely suffers from feeling like it is just like you're subscribing to a monthly comic, and each month it's just kind of like, what is he going to do right now? It's like the sitcom of comic books.
There's
It's
almost arcs
disjointed
within
a
this
little.
arc.
Yeah, like smaller arcs, because you have the overarching plot of, I wonder how many times we're going to say arc.
Yeah.
But you have the overarching plot of Batman being injured and gone, and Azrael having the mantle, and knowing that eventually that's going to change. That's really the arc.
And Robin doing whatever he's doing.
And Robin off, building nests, and
with his car.
yeah, with the red bird.
What is he, like 14, 15?
Well, he's old enough to have a driver's license, but it was a preemptive. I want to say 15.
Yeah, I wanna say
Maybe he's 14.
14 or 15.
Yeah,
something
that
like
was a good
yeah.
guess. That's a good assumption.
I mean, I would have guessed 16 at least.
Well,
I don't think he's that old.
He got the driver's license early because
Yeah.
his father was.
I mean,
in
it's
the
a
state
comic, so it's not
super.
super. It's
So-
a comic, so it's not super
What-
realistic.
What
but
are
he's kind of-
Gotham City's laws on licensing youths? Okay.
I don't know, but
You're
he's
the
got to
expert.
be he's got to be juicing because he's kind of ripped for a 15-year-old.
Dude,
Taking the old
No.
anime arc of being
was-
the
if you
He was training with Batman. That's what it
Batman is
But
the
still, he's
peak of all human physicality. If
a
Batman
little-
is his coach, then he just looks like a young Zac Efron. Zac Efron's been ripped like since he was on television, right? I don't know. That was I recently watched
really.
The Greatest Showman again,
don't.
and
was. I
thought
don't really
about it.
follow Zac Efron.
me.
Yeah,
either.
if
Like,
you
I
did,
cannot
his
even-
security would probably have an issue with that.
I can't even picture what he looks like.
That's not uncommon for you with famous people.
That's true.
He's never been a guest on Star Trek. And
It's a shame. He needs to.
And he's never done anything with spaceships.
that
so
wasn't a
obviously
dig
you're
at you.
never
That
gonna
was just
know.
the fact you know Star Trek actors, by the way. That wasn't
Not
a dig.
all of them.
Okay.
Most of the
Or-
main ones.
Do you?
He's
No?
not a Trekkie.
I
He's a
don't-
Trekker.
I don't.
There's a
believe you.
difference.
What's the difference?
According to
I
a
don't
friend
know
of
what the
mine,
difference is.
according to a friend of mine, Trekkies are the ones who are like all in, have seen every episode, can tell you all the stuff, have the cosplay outfit, like Trekkies. Hardcore. Hardcore. Okay.
So my brother-in-law.
Yes.
Sweet.
Trekkers are people who also really enjoy it, can probably tell you a lot about it, tell you the ship types, different things like that. But in the end of the day, they haven't watched it all. They can't tell you all the little details, but they do really like it.
I have a combat.
I know. And I have Andural.
You have what?
Andural.
Sounds like a medical procedure.
That's an epidural.
Oh,
So, but I think that,
we're just passing over what is that?
what is what?
And
It's it's the sword from Lord of the Rings.
It's the reforged sword of Aragorn's.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
Narsil
I didn't know
reforged. See, different fandoms all together in the same podcast room.
A reforged narcissist. There we go.
Wow. I thought you said Reef War at first, and I was like, Aquaman is not in this. Not Reefer Wars.
We're derailing. Anyway, Batman.
We are derailing. I don't even know what we're talking about.
we just
before.
like
We were railing about, we derailed, but we were railing about how middling Knightquest is.
Right.
But I do think that's why. I think it, the ongoing arc is Azrael as Batman. That's the story. Will Azrael be a decent Batman?
No.
Will he overcome the system?
Nope.
Will,
Predictions. You heard them here first.
Will he live up to Bruce Wayne's expectations?
Absolutely
Never.
not.
Will he ever reconcile with Tim Drake?
Nope.
Will
Yes.
he get a girlfriend?
Catwoman.
Not the one he wants. He wanted Catwoman.
I know he
Catwoman
does.
shunned him hard when she realized it
100%.
wasn't Bruce, man.
She's like,
She doesn't know it's Bruce at this point, but she knew it
She
wasn't.
suspects it's
she
not.
could smell it. She's like,
Oh no,
you're not him."
100%. She was like, "Oh, you are not him." But he was like, "I like that lady. She is pretty and got very close to me. I like
That's
her."
how I read his voice now. So thanks for that.
Yeah, when he's like, "The order of Saint Thomas that my dad put in my head, and I am the best and the only of the Batmans."
Yep.
Which they kind of just
He's
use that
not
as a,
dumb. He's
I know.
just whiny. There's a difference.
I know.
He's not dumb.
They kind of just use the whole system thing as like,
Their way of upgrading his suit.
yeah, for everything. It's like, oh, I don't actually know Spanish, but because of the system, I can understand this woman who is speaking Spanish.
Yeah, he's Jason Bourne.
I need some way of upgrading my suit. Oh, the system does it for me.
He's definitely not Jason Bourne. Jason Bourne actually thinks about what he does first.
I do not like detective work.
Yeah, so
You know-
surprised they're not like, oh, the system makes him the best detective ever. Blah blah blah.
What if it does? What if he's like, "Okay, I'll give in to the system," and the system's like, "I was once a private eye."
The system turns him into Shaggy and Scooby Doo. And he's like falls into the enemy or whatever villain he's after. He's like literally just like, I'm gonna fall down here,
Dude.
And there they are.
No, but I do like, I like that everybody who interacts with him is like, I don't think that's Batman.
Right.
Though, like Commissioner Gordon's wife, she's like, how do you know it hasn't been like 50
That's
different dudes?
That's still one of my favorite parts. She says 5, I think.
She does.
Yeah.
50 would be crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it's on the same vein of what she was thinking.
You know, Batman does have a group called Batman Incorporated, and they're different bats in different countries. So he's got like a bat network of bat people who are battling crime.
This is the Echo Network.
Across the Batverse.
How It Should Have Ended did that as a parody of the Spider-Man thing.
Oh, did they? I just literally made that
so
up on my
dumb.
own. I didn't know.
So dumb. No, but Flashpoint, I think, is going to do some of that since Affleck and Keaton are in it. But anyway.
Anyway.
Wow, you didn't say it into the mic.
Structure.
That's terrible.
Anyway.
No, that was... Wow, we were on track.
Were we?
Yeah. For the most part.
Well, you were like,
No, I was
I was
just
bringing
saying...
us back around to structure.
We were past that.
Structure's thieves.
You can't be past structure. Structure is eternal.
So
It's what really holds me up.
the eternal structure.
They have the Rock of Eternity. And
You know,
you can use the rock as a foundation.
There
And
you
a
go.
foundation is structural.
And that would be an internal what? I don't know. My brain just died right there.
Oh no.
you're dead.
Brain dead at least.
At least.
Oh, this is going to be really hard to communicate.
Maybe it'll come back tomorrow.
So
Oh, so it's like a Wi-Fi problem or
Maybe. Just turn it off, turn it back on again.
I didn't have Wi-Fi for the last week.
oh no.
Yeah, no internet at my home.
How do you live?
Anyway, so it sounds like even though we all have the same opinion of it being kind of prolonged, we also all enjoyed it a little bit more this time.
Yeah, there
Is
were
what it
definitely
sounds
some interesting arcs with the Joker.
Yep. Yeah. Catwoman's arc was interesting
Yeah, I kept expecting Captain Planet to show up.
because it was all about like
the
poisoning the
environmental stuff.
environmental stuff.
It's definitely a 90s, and like Captain Planet was probably pretty popular because those eco terrorists reminded me of the kids from that.
Wow. So you're saying Captain Planet's kids seemed like
Became-
eco-terrorists in
I mean,
Gotham.
If you went back and watched it, they
That's what
probably
he said. You heard it here
when
first.
they were abandoned by Captain Planet, they became eco-terrorists.
They
to
lost their
fight-
rings
to
somewhere.
fight those.
that's could have happened.
I mean, realistically, they probably were fighting for the same cause, right?
Sure.
Technically, the corporate people were the bad guys. They were just willing to kill them, which was also bad.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
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 And 2 rights
Make a right.
make a left.
No, it's 3 rights. Make a left.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Well, we know who's getting lost and listening to podcasts later. Did you have a favorite part?
I really liked the whole Joker, and the casting call and all that. The Joker trying to make the movie of the Batman's death. I just like that whole arc.
Yeah.
And how ridiculous
It was so ridiculous.
like
I like-
show the movie producers were. They're like,
Well, the one producer
He's
is
like,
constantly trying to tell the other one that it's the Joker and he's really going to kill Batman, and the other
Yeah.
guy's like, "This is going to be so good."
as they're in a prison cell, like he has them locked up.
Right.
And
know.
he's like, you do realize where we are right now.
And he's like, "It doesn't matter."
Now, my second favorite part, and I know we've never done this before, was
Well, we talk about parts we like every time. So.
Batman getting a pie to the face. Just saying. That was
You mean
hilarious to
Osriel
me.
getting a pie to the face?
Yes, but he is technically Batman. right
When
now.
was
I
that?
Don't care about technicalities.
Was that in the Joker thing?
I think so. Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, because it's how he got poisoned.
No.
No, there's like a sedative in it, and he's like, "Oh, my body." I thought,
Oh, that might be. Yeah. Maybe.
I don't remember.
I don't remember. I just remember he got a pie in the face, and it was hilarious.
Oh, I don't remember.
Well,
no, I do remember.
Man, now I'm
I'll show you
disappointed.
later.
I'm so disappointed because I feel like I should laugh. A good pie in the face is always worth a laugh.
So the funny thing is that might if Will hadn't remembered, I would have think this is one of those 5 issues that I read that nobody else did.
Why I asked. I was like, because I usually remember a lot of those types of details, so it's weird to me that I'm not.
That whole Joker thing, I read it all because the Joker is also one, as far as like, Commissioner Gordon, Catwoman,
Who
noticed
noticed it wasn't Batman?
He's like, I'm not going to kill you. You're not him.
Right. He noticed by the end of it.
He's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, you 2-bit imposter.
Yeah.
He can't. Batman's been recast."
Yeah.
No, I really liked that as well.
Yeah.
That would be my favorite part is the Joker arc.
Yeah,
That
me
was
too.
It was just how it was the Hollywood guys and the way that, like you said, Will, like the one guy was just all about it, even though they knew it was the Joker.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh yeah, we'll get you more money. We'll fund whatever you need." But one of my favorite parts was that because you knew the Joker had like dressed those guys in monster costumes. You're like,
yeah.
"Oh, it's a set." But I love when they revealed that the girl was also paid
actress.
as an
A paid
actress.
actress.
Like she had taken a casting call and accepted the job to play the damsel in distress for this movie. And then she gets mad because she gets in real danger and quits.
Yeah, she was like, "You were the one that was supposed to die, not me."
Yeah, like I'm
Yeah.
done with this. And it was so funny because he's like, "What?
I don't
You're-
know. At one point in time, like after he rescues her from the water tank, when she quits afterwards, he's like, "Oh, the Joker can send me my check in the mail." And I'm thinking, you're never going to get that check.
No.
I would not be waiting on it at all.
You know what's funny though? Deep down, part of me's like, well, I mean, he did get funded. How funny would it be if she did get paid in the end? Like,
Actually, the Joker, he might actually do that
as a joke.
as a joke.
But the
exactly.
problem would be is it would have like Joker toxin laced on
Right,
it or something,
yeah.
and she would end up dying with a smile, But no, that whole arc. It was the way Azrael was going up against him. It was the way Joker was, him realizing that it wasn't Bruce and being really upset about it. And like, it was such a fun arc, man.
It was.
It was a good one.
Because it kind of shows you how all the people that are closest to him, like Bruce Wayne, like Commissioner Gordon, Catwoman, and surprisingly enough, the Joker.
That's
'Cause
not
nobody-
surprising. Joker's his BFF.
Yeah. What was it? I think you were telling me that Batman and the Joker are basically the same person. I think we were talking about this at one point
Did
in
we?
time when we were doing one of our breakfasts.
Maybe
They're like,
order and chaos,
yeah.
but like both crazy.
hmm
Hmm. Maybe. I don't
Maybe.
know. It might have been a fan theory. They're not really the same person. Not
Well, I mean, like-
literal.
Or they couldn't be in the same room.
Well, unless he's all in
At
his
the
head.
same time.
I should say same personalities, just like one
Opposite
thing.
ends of the
One,
spectrum.
yeah, it's like one thing separating them. The whole like two sides of the same coin.
Well, that's
yeah,
that
one
whole...
smiles more and one doesn't.
Yeah, one is grumpy
one that
and the other is
doesn't-
funny.
The one that doesn't smile and is grumpy is upholding justice, while the other one that smiles all the time is killing people.
Yeah, that sounds about right, actually.
That people who kill people smile more?
Uh-huh.
Wow. I don't...
People who do right are grumpy and
Yeah,
unhappy.
you heard it here first.
Yes.
So if you want to do right,
That's what
don't be
Batman.
happy.
That's what Batman's teaching us.
So, no, I mean, that's why Batman doesn't kill people, is he knows once he crosses that line, he'll probably just do it over and over.
He'll turn into the Punisher.
Literally. Like,
Yeah, I know. I wasn't joking
it's
about
like-
that.
He's like, oh no, I feel my universe being torn in two. What's this giant skull on my chest instead of a bat? No. My name's Bruce Castle. Frank Wayne.
I really
Frank
do need to
Wayne
finish
is
those
a terrible name.
Punisher Max comics that I got because those are awesome.
Yeah, those are good.
They're really good.
What about you, Will?
Yeah, Will.
Was your favorite scene the Trigger Twins?
That was pretty good.
It was
Or was
good,
it the Joker?
But I would have to go with the Joker.
It was so well done.
It was.
So fun to read.
Really well. The Catwoman one was good, but a little too cheesy.
I liked Catwoman's for,
Was that a Chester Cheeto joke?
Yes.
Nice. I appreciated it.
wow. Wow.
Wow.
I thought it was funny how, like, Asriel, when he interacted with Catwoman, he was like, why can't I stop thinking about her?
Yeah, that was kind of lame.
I never liked a lady before, and I am a good man. She's using her wiles on me.
It's definitely
Except
the
from
system.
like when it's from her perspective, she's not
Oh, yeah.
using any of it.
Not
Like
at all.
she's literally just existing.
He's one of those guys that's like, that chick's totally into me. And everybody else around him's like, dude, I'm pretty sure she hates your guts.
Yeah. I think he basically turned into Batman's stalker.
But I did like that. That was funny. I also liked that Commissioner Gordon disagreed with him when he was like, Catwoman would not do that.
Yeah.
He's like, she does a lot of stuff, but this is not the kind of thing that she would normally pull. And I like that. That was kind of cool because he even knows the villains and like the lines they draw and how some of them, like Catwoman, some of them are a bit less evil, I suppose, in his eyes, maybe.
Yeah.
Like Catwoman is not the Joker to Commissioner Gordon, you know. I thought that was kind of a cool part of her arc, but I will say, one thing that can be argued, and we brought it up once or twice, I think, in brief discussion, but it's like the way people are drawn in comics sometimes, and sometimes, dude, some of those Catwoman panels, I was like, oh, okay.
A little ridiculous.
It was a little over the top, okay, but that is very much something that people know can be a part of the comic book industry,
Yeah, the whole environmental stuff.
just in general.
Just in general. I mean, it was okay. I understand we probably don't need to poison our environment, but I'm sure there are better ways they could have went about doing it.
Yeah, like the plot, like Will said, the plot. It was kind of whatever because it was a
Highly
Catwoman-ish
90s.
Catwoman or Poison
Catwoman.
Ivy kind of plot.
Yeah.
But I will say that I liked getting to see Catwoman's Will.
That's me.
Hey,
I'm not Catwoman's Will. I'm just the regular Will.
you don't know that.
I mean, I wouldn't knock you if you were. No, Catwoman's skill and wit. I
Oh.
put skill and wit together, and I said,
Is that where I
Will.
get my name? Thanks, Mom.
Will, it's just wit and skill all in one.
I possess
That's-
neither, so it's
See,
kind
I
of
was
a weird
I was
name.
about to give you a compliment
So
and say
that's a rather good
that's a
compliment.
pretty
Yeah.
that's a pretty accurate depiction of you.
I was going
You have
with
wit and
the
skill. You were being
comedic self-deprecation.
You are so good at creating social media accounts.
I thought you were going to
Not
say you
really.
were so good
Okay.
at self-deprecating.
I'm excellent at self-deprecation. Thank you. I suck. Anyway,
So, no, but I liked how she outsmarted Azrael, outplayed him, outsmarted the cops, outplayed them.
Well,
Yeah.
obviously.
Like, no,
It's
but I mean,
Catwoman.
but I mean, it shows why sometimes she can escape from Bruce for a while. Like, he catches her in the end, but like,
yeah, and how
she's
lame.
got skills, man. And I like that you got to see her be that character. That was fun.
Yeah, how lame Azrael is
Dude.
because he's got his super mech suit going on
I know, right?
and still lost to a woman in latex and a whip and
Well-
a cat with a light on it.
I'm not going to say what I was going to say. Okay, so I promise I'm not changing the subject, but who here has seen Blazing Saddles?
The
Oh,
two of
me.
you.
Okay, did you notice
That Will's Facebook is all blazing.
Batman moved from the cowboy scene onto a scene with people dancing? Just like the end of Blazing Saddles?
Did he?
He did. I noticed that. I'm like, that is amazing. I wonder if that's a callback.
I mean, comic book
It was-
creators put all kinds of things.
I'm pretty sure it was during the whole.
Trigger Twins thing.
I know. We
No,
usually-
it was
usually-
during the whole Joker line.
Oh,
They were filming a movie and stuff. They were in a set with cowboy stuff, and they moved into a set with dancing people.
oh, then it probably is.
I'm pretty sure it is.
That's probably a direct reference.
I was like,
I would,
that is.
I would bet on that.
That is amazing. I had to take a note of that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I feel like there were a lot of good parts, though. I will say that the issue where he helped the immigrant get her baby back and stop the trafficking ring run through the adoption agency.
Yeah, that was good.
Well, I thought it was funny because there's that part where he's like, "Oh, it's a mother. I never knew my mother."
Oh,
Yeah.
And I just
I
thought
started
of,
feeling
I thought of
things.
Bruce from.
Martha!
I thought of no.
Sorry.
I thought of Bruce the shark from Finding Nemo. I never knew my father. And I thought, how's Azrael?
That's
I'll help you. I will help you because I did not know my mother. But
Yeah. It's a little weird.
that was one of those filler issues, right? Or was that just to show more about his dad manipulating him?
I think it was
Still a
the
filler,
latter.
though.
It was backstory.
Everything in this is
I
a
mean-
filler issue with some backstory.
That's true.
Maybe the author is alluding that his mom might show back up because they said that he doesn't know what happened. So we could assume she's dead or she was killed, and that's why he was made as the
Maybe she was turned into the system. Maybe she's in his
maybe
head.
I was gonna say maybe she was the reason why his dad.
Had him.
I mean, obviously a component, but put the system in it. Like she was murdered. He's like, oh, I need a spirit of vengeance. I can't do this, but I have this baby. Like I don't know the origin story of Azrael, so
You should be getting it through this.
we should be.
I have been. Yes.
I mean, yeah, but like towards the end, like I don't know how what the end of his story is. So
Oh, we'll find out
hopefully, if
one of
not,
these days.
be kind of confused if we don't.
Right. Our loyal listener. The last episode, we had a guest on, so we rearranged the podcast room. Now I feel like I'm just staring into Will's eyes all the whole episode.
I'm so happy.
And now I have to look to the side for everybody.
Yes, we're flanking Chris.
I think
And-
we're ready to go on to whatever's next on your structure list.
We talked about stuff that we liked. Ladies and gentlemen, we're now going to start talking about the things
No,
we don't like.
you're wrong. Because we didn't talk about if we had a favorite character in this segment.
Oh, is that how we do it?
Yeah. Favorite part, favorite character. Least favorite part, least favorite character.
Positive and then negative.
Although I did want to know what you thought on the whole of the Trigger Twin stuff. What did you think? Because here's what I thought. I thought it was fun. It was a good moment. But I wanted more out of it.
I mean, yeah.
Because it was an issue. It was one issue. And we like to have issues. And we only got one. And I felt like
I mean, technically, there were like 2 issues
with
of the
them.
Twigger twins.
But this was like the only...
Twigger
You
twins.
Twigger twin.
The Twiggle twins were in 2 different episodes, 2 different issues. But no, yes. There was like the setup issue with them. And then I thought it was kind of humorous where the boss was like, I'm finally going to get my hands dirty. Boom, the cops show up.
Yeah, it was the big bust happened.
Yep.
But man, they were, I was taken aback momentarily because they were a lot more volatile than I expected them to be. Like they shot that guy like right away.
No, that's basically what I expected.
Yeah,
Like,
no, they weren't there to mess around, man.
desperados.
They were like, we're banditos. Actually, they were probably more like, no, I'm not going to do that. Never mind.
But they at least, I like the part, it's small detail, but how they use revolvers and old action, they're like, oh, he's
I love
shooting
that
at me with an antique.
They had the lever action. That was awesome.
Yeah, but they actually counted their bullets.
Yeah.
It's just like a little detail that I'm like, that is something you actually have to do when you use a limited amount of ammunition that they had with them.
Yeah, I do that when I'm eating snacks too. I'm like, oh man, how many per serving did it say? And then I go, never mind.
Never mind.
I'm just going to keep going.
Right.
The bag's still half full
Right.
or half empty.
I like that you just revealed the way you look at life. Oh, my Oreo bag is still half full.
Yeah.
But that was a fun issue, though. It was a fun one to start out with. It was like the first one in our
Yes.
read list this week. So I'm glad you finally got to see your Trigger Twins in action.
Yeah, they were cool.
I wonder if they ever show back up. Probably not.
Probably not anything meaningful, but
Yeah, but I love when writers will be doing a story arc and they'll pull in like one-off villains and stuff and kind of give them another moment. I like that. But I wonder if they ever show up again. I'm going to guess no. I hope they do. That would be awesome.
that would be.
We'll have to look it up.
Yes.
So, did you have a favorite character for this arc?
I'm going to be shocking and say, I don't even know his name. The new Batman.
Azrael.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
I wondered if you were going to say that when you said you were going to be shocking.
I know.
Oh, I
But
thought
we
you were
didn't
gonna be
read
Patrick.
Spider-Man, and so I couldn't ask if it was Electro or something, but it wouldn't have worked.
And the reason.
Who's the electric guy in Batman? The Electrocutioner. Anyway,
absolutely
the
no
reason
idea.
the reason you picked Azrael this time
The reason I picked Azrael this
is
time.
because he saved a bus full of children.
No. No, that is a decent reason. No, he's finally starting to come around that detective work might not be that bad of a thing to do,
He did
even if
some.
I don't like it.
He did do some real detective work.
Maybe Bruce Wayne was onto something. Why he was doing it the way he was doing it. And I think he's starting to come around, which makes me like him more.
My question is, I wonder what the parallels of that would be when Batman very first started out versus like now, like is Azrael following a same path as Batman when he first started? Like maybe when Batman first started, he kind of slacked off on the detective side.
He was only a detective when he first started.
Oh, was he? I
I,
didn't.
I believe that. I don't know if it's true, but I believe it.
I mean,
I mean, he debuted in Detective Comics and he wore purple evidence gloves.
Well, I obviously didn't know. I'm just like, I don't know if this is like homage to deep fans of Batman. Be like, oh, he had some of the same struggles, and so that's how the author is kind of trying to endear. Because I've kind of crapped on Jean Paul / Azrael as a character, and I'm like, maybe I just don't know enough. Maybe I'm lacking information that would have him be a more endearing character than what he is now, just because I don't know some of the stories and stuff of how Batman originally was. You know, maybe if I had read it from the olden days, maybe he'd be a better character. But
I like
if you
that,
say that.
you're trying to give him the benefit of the doubt.
I was trying this time because he's just
I did
Not for
feel
me.
he was less annoying in this arc, though, only because he was, maybe it was from the conflict within himself this time.
Yeah.
And he's starting to go, maybe Bruce is right about detective work a little bit.
He's
or
changing. He's growing as a character.
He does seem to have some actual growth. And now that this system and the spirit of Saint Dumas is at conflict within him, you can see that he's trying to figure out more of what the right way to be the Batman or whatever
Right.
is. Yeah, so I could see that. That's a good character to pick, right? The protagonist.
Protagonist. Of the whole
But
thing.
not always the best character in the story. We know that.
Yeah.
What about you, old Willie? Wilhelm?
well, old Willie.
Oh, Willie.
This is gonna probably say
I feel like you're a boat captain at this point.
from the old Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, something
Steamboat
like that.
Willie?
Steamboat
Yeah.
Willie.
Probably gonna go with Joker,
Hmm.
just from his whole arc. Like I said, I think the villains are better. So I really did love the Trigger Twins. They're definitely just like fun characters. I also love the Three Stooges. That was just a fun little, twist on that dynamic.
I mean, they did better than I thought they were going to.
Yeah, they lasted longer than
Yeah, they did.
anyone else. Gave them more problems. But
The
Do you like
Joker.
Corrosive Man?
I don't remember Corrosive.
a
Man.
corrosive man.
The guy who melted everything that he touched. And then the dude who could zap powers took enough from him that Batman
Oh,
could
that's
foam him up.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. See,
Sounds
that was
painful.
so memorable.
Yeah, more or less.
The whole thing with the
More or
Joker
less.
was, I mean, it is a fun arc,
Yeah.
but man, it's got some underlying tones to it.
There's
you really
usually
think
things
about what he's
lying
trying
under
to do.
arcs.
And what the Joker is actually doing.
Yeah.
He's a villain.
He's a bad man.
Yeah,
He is.
it's true to character.
Yeah.
And that's why he's one of the most famous villains of fiction. I would consider, most people know who the Joker is. And that's because he's so interesting even when he's so evil.
Right.
But
Yeah, good choice.
yeah. Good choice.
Yeah, there were. I think I've said this a couple times, but the villains in this section we have read have always seemed to be like the stronger characters than Batman.
Right. Because
Yeah.
Batman's just, for the most part, have just been punchy. But he's starting to change, it feels like.
Punchy, and they attribute so much of it to like the system.
Right.
So as
Like he's got almost
As a real
no
Batman.
almost no character for himself.
Every time you guys say the system, I think of Strong Bad. And that song.
if only we could have him on as a guest.
Next week,
No,
That would be something.
it would definitely be something.
Well, I mean, but even Azrael himself struggles with that.
yeah,
The last part that we read with the deprivation tank and stuff. Or was that in this one?
That wasn't in this one.
That was
No. His conflict with him being like, "Who am I?" Was it this one or was that the last one?
I think it was more of the last one.
More of the last one.
Well, he did have the thing where the system and his saint
Because he's trying to figure out
whatever
who he is.
was arguing with each other, and he was. I think that was another part of him trying to figure out who he
His
is.
identity.
Yeah.
Is he the assassin or the Avenger or
Dark Guardian, whatever they were saying.
Dark Knight? He's currently the Dark Knight.
He is currently.
Yeah.
So, what about you, sir? Who's your
Who's my favorite character?
Yeah.
You know, I would say. So my favorite character would be. I liked some of the different things with the Joker's butt. No. I'm gonna say Catwoman. I enjoyed her part of her story arc. Like the story was okay, but I loved getting to see her be all wily and outplay people and
Yeah.
do like her own kind of detective work on the side and even set people up with giving them like the wrong chemicals. And it was kind of cool to see her character in more of a spotlight
Yeah.
story arc like that.
And how Pat's favorite character in this one was trying to ruin everything.
Yeah.
Dude,
Trying to ruin everything.
he was going to get everyone killed and be a butthole. But lucky for him, Catwoman was looking out.
Right.
Man, Selena Kyle, thank you for your service. Okay.
Thank you for
Right.
having to deal with this dumb Batman.
But yeah, she was. I enjoyed it. I like Selena Kyle as a character anyway. And when she's done well, I think she's really fun to read. And it's like, how do you not like Catwoman?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
It was a
Like I said,
close.
the arc was okay, but Catwoman was what made that enjoyable at
Yeah,
all.
for sure.
It was just her character. So she would be, yeah, I'll give Catwoman my award for best character this time around.
Excuse me.
You've been excused.
Thanks.
So, what about least favorite scenes? You guys got least favorite scenes? You guys big fans of Ballistic? The gun-toting mutant dude? He was so 90s.
I don't remember.
Who's the guy Azrael teamed up against the Three Stooges with?
Oh.
Oh, yeah. I knew he had teamed up with somebody.
His name's Ballistic.
I'm going to have to say the Three Stooges thing was probably my least favorite.
Scene.
Like the whole thing, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
With the serial killer who eats his family.
Right.
The family member eating serial killer.
Right. Who would like that?
Abattoir. By the way, I looked it up because I wanted to know how to say it. If it was abattoir or abattoir or what, because it looked French-ish, right? With the OIR kind of thing. But no, it's abattoir. And do you know what that word means? You know what it means?
No.
It is a term that means a slaughterhouse or butchery.
Well, there you
And I
go.
was like, oh, that's a great serial killer name.
It is.
It's very befitting.
A guy stealing a bus full of kids to try to get at his cousin or whatever. It was his cousin, right?
Yeah.
And then, just that whole thing, man. I agree with you.
Yeah.
That was one of my
I
least
didn't-
favorite parts. Only because I do not know. I'm a big fan of the Three Stooges, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Big fan. Not,
Who's on first?
dude, that is Abbott and Costello.
Yeah, that's
man.
Abbott and
Oh, was it
Costello.
Abbott and Costello?
Yeah. I'm not
I'm
a huge fan of the.
I'm cutting that so that you don't sound like you don't know. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm not a
I mean,
huge
I'm a
fan
big
of the
Abbott-
Three Stooges.
I'm a big Abbott and Costello fan.
My dad
too.
was a big Three Stooges fan growing up.
And the reason I'm not a big Three Stooges fan is because I'm not a huge fan of that type of physical humor.
No, you like satire.
Right, which we've said multiple times on this podcast.
Yep. So you don't like slapstick, you like satire.
Right.
Slap satire.
People getting hurt or even pretending to get hurt is not funny to me.
People getting hurt for real isn't funny to me. People getting hit in the head with a board because one guy turns around and the other guy ducks, I laugh at that sometimes. I can see the humor in that.
I mean, I can see the humor in some of it, but...
So here's the thing.
So you've never watched a video of somebody falling down and just laughed?
No. I think,
I don't like
I
that
hope
either.
they're okay.
No.
I'm also the worst person in this group.
Yeah, we established that you're either an anti-hero or maybe a villain.
Borderline both, yeah.
So, no, that was my least favorite, but for a totally different reason. You're saying you didn't like it. It was your least favorite sequence because you don't like the Three Stooges.
Well, I mean, that was part of it.
Okay. And
But
you
the other
didn't
part
like,
of it
you
is
didn't like Ballistic.
I completely forgot about the entire thing. So that might be another part of it.
Again, it just felt like a story in an ongoing series kind of thing. It didn't feel like it fed into anything. Except for them being like, oh, we need a new edgy hero for the 90s. Let's make this Ballistic guy and see if we can put him in a comic. And if people like him, we'll give him his own series or something. That's what it felt like. But I didn't like it because I refuse to believe that a former police officer who's now mutated into some kind of crazy gun-toting muscle man
Mercenary.
and Azrael, who may not be Bruce Wayne, but is a trained person with the system. I had to say that because I knew it. Will didn't want me to say the system again.
Triggered.
So no, the twins are gone. This is later. So you're the trigger trio. Trigger trio. You're the triplet.
I'm the third brother. Let's go here, boys. We're robbing that there train.
So I didn't like it because I had a really, really hard time believing that those three guys could outplay the other two heroes constantly.
Right.
Even though it was by chance, sometimes it was that they knew something. No, I cannot believe the Three Stooges could outplay anybody wearing a Batman suit. Okay.
But that was true to the Three Stooges fashion.
Which is part
They
of the
just-
reason I
That
didn't
they
like it.
succeed at by failing.
Yeah. It is literally success by failure. Is their whole shtick. They just
Well,
they
can shtick it where the sun don't shine.
Yeah.
I didn't like it in my Batman comic. It was
Yeah, I
too
mean, it was-
dumb. I liked the Three Stooges. I just don't like how it always played out the way it did. It was just like, what? Although I didn't really like the serial killer guy either. And Azrael's whole, why did I save that bus? I should have stopped this killing man and let all of the children die.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
That was ridiculous.
I don't know why I stopped the bus. If I had to hear him say that one more time, I swear in every issue he was like, the bus.
I think it was your flashbacks. So it was only the one. I mean, mine. I'd have to say my least favorite was actually the Rosemary thing.
Yeah, that was kind of there for me too, just because it was kind of
was like,
pointless. It felt pointless.
This did.
Did I have a mommy?
Yeah, but like, oh man, I never had a mom. Like, no, you definitely had one.
Well, he could be a test tube baby. You don't know.
Oh, science. That's why he doesn't like detective work. Science created him,
Oh,
and
yeah.
he holds a grudge, just like people do against their parents.
So if science creates you, you don't like detective work?
You don't like science. You're like, curse you that brought me into this world.
I mean, by that same metric, I shouldn't like humans.
You shouldn't.
You don't.
like
You're
humans?
an introvert, Pat. I think that's why
I like them away from me.
I like you over there.
And he
But
likes test tubes away
and
from
not
him.
paying any attention to me. That's where I like humans.
So then, do you actually like them?
Sure. No, probably not.
I was
Your
trying
point
to,
stands.
my point was sometimes people don't like their parents, and so he doesn't like anything that's tied to science if he's a test tube baby.
That's fair.
I like that Will backed you into a corner.
He
and
really
was like,
did.
you can't like people.
Yes.
I don't believe you. You don't like people.
So what was your biggest
Anyway.
beef with Rosemary's Baby?
I don't know. It was.
Specifically.
I mean, the whole thing was
She
just kinda,
wouldn't stop crying.
literally just be like, "Why did you just sell your child?"
Dude,
I mean,
people
I guess
do
it does-
terrible things in other countries.
They do.
I mean, to
That
be
is-
fair,
They do terrible things in America.
they do
too.
terrible things here.
I meant
People just do
decisions like that happen because they get tricked a lot of times. They get told, oh, we'll pay you and it's for this. And, that human trafficking uses a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right. There are terrible parents everywhere.
There are.
I was just
Then,
trying.
like, what happened to the rest? I thought she said she had a lot of other kids, and they're all. I don't know. That was the whole thing was just kind of didn't add up. Just kind of
maybe it was all a lie.
could have been all a
Maybe
lie.
she was a villain. There to distract Azrael with her feminine wiles and baby.
Wild hair and there's babies.
Babies.
I think he saved lots of babies, and it was just kind of.
I like that he used the GCPD to stop the trafficking ring. I thought that was good. Show him work with them. Didn't he give him like the address or something?
I think he did something.
He gave
with
him
it,
the
yeah.
address or something, and they went in and found that the rich adoption agency or in vitro. It was actually an in vitro thing, wasn't it? Was that what it was?
No, it was an adoption.
Was it an
agency.
adoption?
It was
agency?
adoption agency.
I just remember that the two people couldn't have a baby, and so then in my brain, because you'd said test tube baby, I was like, "Was that what that was about?" And then I was like,
No,
So-
yeah, it was definitely an adoption. But they're like, we're in a really expensive adoption agency.
Because what we do is illegal.
there are adoption agencies that have been called out for doing that.
See, it was real life.
Yeah, and Will didn't like it.
And Will
was
didn't,
too
doesn't
real.
like real
It was
life.
too real.
No.
You liked the Constantine story, and that was
Yes.
pretty real to life, making deals with the devil and all that. So, what about least favorite character? Three Stooges for you then.
Three Stooges.
They were your
100%.
least favorite
Yep,
character.
100%.
Not Corrosive Man or Ballistic or Abator.
No.
What about you? Least favorite character? Don't say Rosemary, because
No.
I mean,
I'm gonna have
she
to say
just wanted
it
her
was,
baby back.
No, she's not. It's the two idiots from the Catwoman who kidnapped the scientist,
eco-terrorists.
and they're like they literally don't know anything. It's like, oh, we kidnapped this guy, and the scientist is just like, yeah, I made you the thing you wanted. They're like, oh, great, thanks for not lying to us about it. It's like,
Yeah.
well, obviously he's just gonna hand you this random bunch of stuff that you don't know what. Like, there was no way they could have known.
No.
And it's like, what your answer to murder is more murder.
Yes,
Yes.
I don't. They
that's
they were
Joker's
just
answer.
They
to
weren't.
murder.
They
were
really
just-
weren't very good villains.
yeah, they were just kind of dumb.
They were more henchmen level.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure. They were people who thought we're gonna make it. We're gonna do this ourselves,
Right.
and they should have.
They were
never
aspiring henchmen, and it just didn't work out.
aspiring henchmen. That's what we are. We're just a bunch of aspiring henchmen.
I think you're aspiring sidekicks, and I am the henchman
That could be. Yeah.
Oh,
because you're
What?
the good guys, and I'm not.
sure you are. You just make it sound like you're not. Deep down,
try.
you're like the guy you're the guy in the Spider-Man issue that needs a second chance.
You're like the Punisher to Chris's Batman.
I'd like to think that I'm more like Captain America.
I mean,
I'm just
would
that
make-
kind of
What a
stand-up
pun-
kind of guy.
What about me?
You're Professor Xavier
Nice.
you're
because
just
you're
a
way
stand-up
smarter
guy.
than us.
Is it because I'm mostly bald? Is that it? Thanks, Will.
Oh man, no, I didn't even think of your hair.
That's because
Or
it's not
lack-
there.
or lack
Nobody
thereof.
does think of my hair.
That's not- saying it, man.
Speaking of your hair, Pat, when are you going to start doing that beard thing that we were talking about?
Oh,
Or you were talking about? I thought you said you were
next
going to.
week.
I don't think he said it actually in the episode. Maybe he did.
I
I
thought
don't remember
when we were
fully.
just like kind of like BSing, you said that you're going to start slowly retracting the
Like
beard.
this-
I am. I'm
when
having
you
a
say
hard time
next week,
figuring
do you
out
mean starting tomorrow? or-
tonight.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah. So the plan. So, well, loyal listener, the plan is I have a full beard right now, and I want to style it down until I have no beard over a course of like a week. But I'm having a hard time figuring out exactly how to style it down to get the most out of it throughout the whole week.
Do like a beards through the ages.
Well, I was
Get, like,
thinking
mutton
I'd start
chops
with, right. I was thinking I'd just cut a little bit off and I have some mutton chops and like a big old goatee, whatever. I don't even know what that's called. I know it's not a goatee. It's more than that. And then like make the mutton chops like smaller and then just cut like the chin part out. So I just have and then the next day, I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. I don't know what to do yet.
Oh, we're thinking about it too.
I know. We're just staring
If
at
you have
your
ideas,
face.
if you have ideas, let me know.
Yeah, I'll think about it.
Need to load up a character creator and like,
And
Or
like
they got
Black
the
Desert Online.
yeah, or
They don't have a good beard thing though.
Don't they?
Fallout.
Maybe
or,
they do. I can't remember.
I think a lot
I
of
just
people
made
say
somebody recently.
that Black Desert Online character creator is really good.
It is.
Anyway, what were we talking about before the beard?
People
Least favorite
that we don't
characters?
like. I guess it's my turn.
It is your turn.
Well,
Tell us about your hatred.
I am going to say that I didn't like the Three Stooges.
I'm
Yes.
okay
I
with
like
that.
the Three Stooges. They were just kind of irritating in the comic. They were, and I was just, they would have been okay for an issue. They went like 2 issues at least.
Yeah, 2 or 3.
I was going to say maybe 3, one for each Stooge.
The Trigger Twins would have been a better 3 episode.
Dude, I definitely could have taken a few more issues with them on the run, on the lam,
Yeah.
trying to like escape the Batman and like doing like coming into fights and
Yeah.
some, it was just a train robbery that went sideways ultimately.
Ultimately.
But yeah, convenient that Batman's new car can drive on train tracks.
Oh, we never saw that coming. They're like, oh, we're going to rob a train. Oh, the dwarf that lives here made a car that can go on train tracks. What?
I just
wonder
don't.
I wonder how that is going to come in handy.
I just don't get what if we had the like eat your heart on fear toxin guy from Nightfall, and now Knightquest had a I eat my family thing. And I don't understand this Batman arc that's like, who knows what Night's End will have. I only eat people's big toes, but after they've gone on a really long run, like, I don't know. I'm burnt out on very niche serial killers.
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, but deep down, that would be because I thought of him as maybe being one that I was like, eh. But deep down, I'm like, I'm almost going to be disappointed if they don't have some random serial killer in the third one now.
Oh, they will.
We've gotten a random serial killer in 2 volumes. If we don't get a third one, it won't be symmetrical.
I mean, here's the hoping, I guess. It's a weird thing
They're
to hope for.
fictional serial killers. They only kill fictional people, just like you.
Wait, am I a fictional person or do I kill fictional people?
I mean, you play video games, so you do kill fictional people.
And you've been a fictional person. You've been behind the wheel of one.
Okay. So I'm.
Oh, yeah. You play a lot of Dungeons and Dragons. Think about
Oh.
that.
I used to.
You've cut back. That's good.
I have cut back.
Yeah, if he didn't, he wouldn't have time to be on this podcast. That's true.
Or I wouldn't have had time to listen to 7 books in a month and a half.
You're never going to touch his read
I
time.
know. I'm going to start letting it play while I'm asleep. and then just start lying. Be like, yep, I listened to all these books.
I didn't
I'm
lie
smart.
about listening just because it played while people were sleeping.
That's the difference between you and me.
That you're a
I'm
liar.
the villain.
So, anything else you guys want to say about this? Anything else that either of you have to add to Nightfall Part 2
I don't think so.
before we give it a final rating?
Not really. It's kind of not really a whole lot happened. Like, what are we gonna say?
No.
We've already covered
everything.
that's happened.
Literally
pretty much.
everything.
Yeah. Well, we ready then?
How are your 5 issues that we didn't read? I'm just kidding.
That's
I know.
I don't remember. They all kind of bled together.
So, what are we
bloody
rating it out
comics.
of?
Bat
How-
signals?
Oh.
No. Not bad.
Batarangs?
How many of Rosemary's
that.
Babies?
Train cars?
How about how many?
Stooges?
I almost stooge. How many of?
If you can't tell, loyal listener, this is we already know what it is. We're just throwing things out.
We're
there.
having fun.
We didn't think about this at all.
I almost said how many failed Joker movies,
I was trying to come up with
or-
something from that too.
or
Like, oh,
escaping actresses.
How many
how many-
monster costumes?
How many cylinders of poisonous gas?
Wait,
That's from Catwoman's.
escape tanks?
How many sultry looks from Catwoman would you get? How many lashings of Catwoman's? No, I'm just kidding.
It's getting a whole different kind of podcast right here.
I'll probably cut that one.
Nah, keep it.
Bat suits?
Batsuit upgrades.
Bat suit upgrades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he upgraded it again. He has like a big metal cape now.
Right.
He has like big metal wings.
That's what
How many Batsuit upgrades? would you
corrosion
give this?
resistant or now or something? Whatever. Okay. I gotta stick with 5.
5 still?
Yeah.
Because like you'd still say, hey, if you like Batman, you should read this. You should check this out.
Right. Just because
Writing it out right now.
there was a lot of the different arcs
Mhm.
that I did enjoy.
Yeah, this one was definitely, like we said, more enjoyable than the previous one.
Yes.
I would say so. Yeah. All right.
Like maybe not as real per se, but just everything that happened,
Yeah.
like the Trigger twins, the whole Joker thing. I mean, it was just a fun read.
Yeah.
I think I will have to stick with my.
3. I don't know what
Was
you
I
gave
at
it
a
last
3?
time. I don't remember.
3.5?
You were somewhere in there, yeah.
I thi-
3.75.
I don't know. I was thinking maybe 3.5. Maybe.
I think I
I'm
was at
still-
3.5.
I'm still sticking it out until
I just
because I want to
liked
see
it.
how this ends up.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to stick with my 3.5.
Yeah.
Or-
3.5 upgrades.
Yeah, if
Didn't get to the corrosion. You're protected, Pat.
Heck yeah,
yeah,
I got the bats back.
he is protected, Pat.
Here we go. We got it in. Well, Chris,
Well,
I'm going to say 4.
4.
I'm going to give it myself some 4 upgrade. The system's going to give me 4 upgrades. Yeah. Because I think I did 3.5 last time, right?
you
think I
might
did.
have.
I want to say it was under 4 last time.
Yeah,
Pretty sure.
so.
So I enjoyed this more. I thought it bounced back up. I could definitely see this being like I would consider going back and rereading sections of this one for sure. Like if I had the book, pull it out, read the Joker part or something, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. 3, not 3. Yeah. 4. I'll stick with 4 this time.
Great.
It was a good one. Yeah. So, again, another chunk of Nightfall, the epic, taken out. Knightquest Part 2, Knightquest Part 3, the finale of Knightquest, correct? This should be our last one.
Depends
This
on
will be our last one.
Unless we
in
decide to
Knightquest,
add in
yeah.
like the whole
How many
chunk
extras?
of Robins or whatever.
You know,
I think there's only like 6 episodes left or something in the night.
6 or
Quest.
10.
There's
Yeah.
less than 10. I know there's less than 10.
Well,
Unless you read it like I do.
I might go through
Then
and read
there's
some of
14.
those other ones to see if that ups my.
yeah, basically the next issue will be us talking. Well, not the next Knightquest issue that we release will be us discussing how Knightquest ended
Right.
before we begin Night's End. But next issue is going to be Flashpoint. Because we're going to see the Flash movie, whether that's all together, whether that's apart and then all together, whatever.
We'll figure it out.
It's supposed to be good. So we're going to check it out and we're going to read the comic that the storyline is inspired by, which is Flashpoint. Flashpoint has a bunch of tie-ins that we will not do as our main discussion, but it does have spin-offs that are Flashpoint Wonder Woman, Flashpoint Superman, things like that. It also has a lead-in story arc called Brightest Day, and it is a 12-issue. That was like a big DC event thing after Blackest Night. But there are 12 issues of The Flash that happened before Flashpoint. We have not discussed reading that. But if you want extra context, if you want to know where Barry's coming from when Flashpoint happens and kind of what leads him to the events of Flashpoint, 12 issues starting with Brightest Day lead directly into that. Written by Jeff Johns. Yeah, it's a good read. It's a good read. I have all that stuff personally. I own a bunch of it. But that will be issue 11? Issue 11? Right?
I thought this was 11.
This is issue 10.
This is 10.
Oh.
11th
yeah,
issue.
It'll be. You're right.
We have a 0.
Right.
I know.
Yeah.
But
That's
this
confusing me.
is issue 10.
Which really shouldn't.
Issue 11 will be Flashpoint, and issue 12 we will be in part 3 of Knightquest. So keep it rolling.
Yeah.
Got it moving.
Keep it moving.
So thanks, faithful listener.
Mm-hmm.
Hope all you folks had a nice time.
Gotta add that in there.
Good times.
Oh, yeah, it's one of those things.
All right. Well, I'm Patrick.
This is Will.
And I'm Chris, and we are Guys with Issues.
Dum, 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 dum.
You should just keep that for all of them.
You can catch the new issue of Guys with Issues each week on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts.
Or check out our website at guyswithissues.com where you can listen, find reading lists to follow along, and get to know us better.
You can also find us on Instagram at guys_with_issues and on Facebook at Guys with Issues.
Send us emails to longbox at guyswithissues.com and tell us your thoughts. Or send us suggestions on what we should read next. We would love to hear from our listener. I'm not going to say what I was going to say.
Please do.
I was going to say, to be fair, if I had a mech suit, I might also still lose to a woman in latex
With a
with
whip.
a whip.
Good job, Pat.